The movie begins late at night. We see Owen, a young black 7th grader in the living room, sitting on a couch. He is watching a commercial on TV and seems rather engrossed in it. The scene switches to Owen's school. The kids are playing in the gymnasium. They count to 5 before lifting a colorful planetarium and going under. Owen walks under it, admiring its beautiful colors before it slowly descends on them. In the next scene, a grown Owen talks about not being able to sleep due to rainfall, and then starts to watch his favorite TV show, The Pink Opaque, all over again. The year is 1996, and it's election day at Owen's school. He walks for a while before seeing a girl seated on the floor, reading a pink opaque novel. Owen is intrigued by the book, but is soon interrupted by the voice of his mom calling him to vote. Still looking at the girl and the novel until she gets up and walks away. Owen is now alone with his mom, but does not share the same excitement to vote as she does. She tries to hype him up about voting, telling him that it's been 4 years and time to vote for the saxophone man again. Owen listens and votes. We see Owen walking alone in the hallway. He walks into the school's cafeteria, which is empty at the moment, and sees the girl again seated on the floor reading the same book. He greets the girl and asks if her parents are also voting. She replies that they are not, and she is only there because she is waiting for her pictures to dry out in the dark room. Owen compliments her book, saying it looks like the best book ever, to which she agrees. He asks if the book is from a TV show. The girl confirms this, also stating that the book is an official TV guide. She asks if he watches the show, but Owen replies that he doesn't. She seems disappointed and continues with her book. Owen walks over to the corner and sits on the floor. He is quiet for a while before asking what grade she is in. The girl replies that she is in the 9th grade and asks Owen the same question. He tells her that he is in 7th grade, which makes the girl laugh and call him a baby. This seems to offend Owen. The girl notices this, not wanting to hurt his feelings. She starts a conversation about the magic of election night, stating that the school gets transformed into something beautiful and special. Owen asks if The Pink Opaque is a kid's show. The girl tries to disregard this claim, stating that it is too scary for most kids despite being on the young adult network. Owen claims he sees commercials about the show every time on TV and says that it looks amazing. The girl walks over to Owen, giving him the book and asking him to read it if he wants. Owen notices that the show comes on at 10:30 p.m. every Saturday night. He returns the book, stating that his dad won't let him stay up that late as his bedtime is 10 p.m. The girl tells him her mom does not care when she sleeps and gives him an idea on how to watch it. Owen is seen lying in the back seat of his mom's car as they drive home from school. He asks his mom if he can have a sleepover at Johnny Link's place on Saturday. His mom is surprised as she didn't think they were still friends. She informs him that he will need to ask his dad. He asks her if she can ask him on his behalf. They get home and Owen runs inside. His mom tells his dad about his request to sleep over at his friend's place. Owen sits outside their room and listens to the conversation. His dad agrees to let him go, stating that he is a good kid. In the next scene, Owen's mom drops him at Johnny Link's place and asks if he took his inhaler. He informs her that he did and pretends to press the doorbell. He waves at his mom as she drives off. Owen uses this opportunity to run away as he heads over to the girl's place. It is dark and raining when he arrives there. He knocks on the door, but no one responds. Owen opens the door and walks in. The girl and her friend Amanda are talking about boys and do not pay attention to Owen as he walks in. He asks if it is okay for him to sit down, but is cut off by the girl who tells him the show is starting. Owen drops his things on the floor and walks over as the movie begins. In the show, a boy wishes the ice cream man never goes away during the winter and stays around always. This summons an ice cream demon. Owen continues to watch in admiration as the show ends. After the show, Amanda stands outside smoking. The girl asks Owen if he would like to go outside and join Amanda for a smoke, but he declines, stating that he doesn't smoke cigarettes. The girl tells him that it's a black and mild, not a cigarette. She asks Owen if he would like a ride home with Amanda's mom. He tells her that he cannot, as he informed his mom he was at a sleepover. The girl tries to find out if he enjoyed the show, and also states that her favorite character is Tara, not Isabel, who is the show's main character, and gives her reason for saying this. Owen wonders if the two main characters, Isabel and Tara, never meet in person, to which the girl explains that they never do. She goes on to explain the show in depth to Owen, telling him about Mr. Melancholy, the show's main villain, and his plan to rule the world by controlling time and reality, and how he tries to capture the show's superheroes by sending a new villain every week. This dude doesn't sound so scary. The girl, who we now know to be Maddie, gets up to go to bed and tells Owen to leave by dawn so her stepfather doesn't see him. She sits on the step for a while, expressing her feelings on how the pink opaque feels more real than real life sometimes. Hesitating to go to bed, we see her get up moments later and walk into her room. The next day, Owen packs his things as he heads home. He is likened to Isabel from the show, as they have a lot in common. 2 years later, we see Owen in a park holding cotton candy and walking over to meet his mom. She looks pale. Apparently, she has a medical condition. She wants to know how Owen feels about her condition, also noting that he seems distant of late and isn't sure if it is because of her sickness or something else. She shows concern for him, saying that she wants to know he is on the right path. Owen sits quietly and pours a bit of saliva on the candy, watching it dissolve. Owen lays on his mother's lap in the back seat of the car while his dad drives. He asks if he can stay up at 10:30 p.m. to watch the pink opaque. His mom reminds him that his bedtime is 10:15 p.m. His dad also wonders why Owen wants to watch the show, linking it to girls. His mom tells him that he cannot stay up to watch it. Owen sits alone, looking at a bonfire. We understand that he has not spoken more than 3 words to Maddie after the first sleepover. Maddie starts leaving tapes for him after he tells her he is still not allowed to watch the pink opaque at home. In the next scene, we see Owen walking slowly through the school's hallway. He greets a group of students as he continues to walk. He gets to the dark room where Maddie keeps the tapes. He picks the recent tape and leaves. At home, Owen sits in the living room and plays the new tape. The TV comes to life as we see 2 demons, Marco and Paulo, who happen to be Mr. Melancholy's henchmen. Tana and Isabel discuss in the show as Owen sits at home, glued to the screen. He repeats the words from the show, hinting at how often he watches it. His dad walks in as he rushes to take out the tape. The next day, Owen meets Maddie in the courtyard. They exchange pleasantries, rather awkwardly as Owen sits a distance from Maddie. He asks if Maddie still watches the pink opaque with her friend Amanda. Maddie calls Amanda an inappropriate word, saying they have not spoken in over a year. She tells Owen things that transpired between Amanda and herself, venting her anger. Owen tries to find out if he can go over to her place to watch the show with her. He admits that he has been watching the tapes she makes for him, but he wants to watch the show on Saturday night again while it airs. She looks at him for a moment and tells him that she likes girls and not boys, in case he has an ulterior motive and wants him to know. Owen reacts to this news, stating that he never wanted to do anything more than watch the show. She asks if he likes girls or boys, to which he answers that he does not know, but knows he likes TV shows. He confides in Maddie and tells her he feels something is wrong with him, and his parents also know about it. He tries to find out if she feels that way about herself as well. She replies that she does not know. She again likens him to Isabel, stating that he was afraid of what was inside him. He goes over to Maddie's place the next night to watch the pink opaque, lying to his parents once again that he is going for a sleepover. Maddie cries as she watches the show. At night, Maddie informs Owen that she is leaving town soon, as she feels she will experience her demise if she stays any longer. He tells her he will not have anyone to watch the pink opaque with if she leaves, which was him trying to convince her to stay. She picks up a pink marker and draws a tattoo on Owen's back like the one on the 2 main characters' backs. She asks him to leave with her and sleeps beside him. The next day, Owen packs his things and rushes to his friend Johnny's place. He rings the doorbell as Johnny's mom opens the door to see a panicking Owen. Owen confesses to Johnny's mom about lying to his parents that he was going to her place for a sleepover, whereas he was at Maddie's place. He begs her to report him to his dad so he can be grounded and not have to leave with Maddie. He tells her that he doesn't want to leave his home. She tries to calm him down and invites him inside. The next July, Owen's mom meets her demise, and Maddie disappears without a trace. All they find is her TV set burning in the backyard. The pink opaque also gets cancelled that same month, adding to the list of woes. The TV set continues to burn in the backyard as the scene ends. The movie takes a time leap 8 years forward. Owen is seen driving. He goes to a fast food restaurant called the Burger Express. The attendant keeps interrupting Owen as he places his order. We see him order 2 double cheeseburgers, small fries, and a root beer, amounting to $11.09. He drives around to pick up his order. We see Owen try to reach his colleague over the phone, but is unable to. He drops a voice message and opens the door to the manager's office. There he finds his colleague being intimate with a female worker called Erica. Owen immediately closes the door and apologizes as he walks away. In the next scene, his colleagues tease him by asking if he likes what he saw and tells him that Erica is into him, and he can hook them up if Owen is interested. With the look on Owen's face, we can easily guess that he is still a virgin. Owen refuses to make eye contact with his colleagues all through the period they are together. Owen drives his mom's old car home, but is surprised to find strange things on the road. He sees cables spark in the distance and comes down to check it out. He sees a burnt pink opaque novel and picks it up. Owen wonders how it got there, but continues his journey home. On getting home, he sees his dad seated in the living room watching TV. He apologizes for coming late and explains what kept him outside, but gets no response from his dad. That night, Owen goes for his shift at the theater where he works. The next day, Owen goes grocery shopping. He walks for a while before seeing a strange lady stand frozen some distance from him. He tries to find out if the woman needs anything and calls out to her. The lady asks if he remembers her. His eyes widen with joy. It is Maddie. He rushes to hug her. Owen tries to find out where she has been the last few years, the look on his face revealing he has a lot of questions to ask. Maddie tells him about a place at the edge of town where they can talk freely. That night, they head over to the bar where Maddie asks them to meet. The bar is packed with customers. A woman sings as our attention is drawn to Owen and Maddie. Owen wants Maddie to go to the police because everyone thinks she's deceased. He tries to find out where she has been all these years. Maddie promises to tell him everything but needs to ask something first. Owen interrupts her and asks if her mom knows she is alive. She repeats that she is going to tell him everything but needs to ask him something first. Owen agrees to listen and gives her a go-ahead to continue. Maddie asks Owen if he remembers watching a TV show called The Pink Opaque with her. The song ends. Owen confirms he remembers The Pink Opaque and adds that it is his favorite TV show ever. He wonders if this is all she wants to ask. Looking puzzled, she goes on to ask how he remembers The Pink Opaque when he looks back on it. She wants to find out if he remembers it as just a TV show. Owen seems confused, but confirms that he remembers it as a TV show. He adds that it was the last show before the young adult network switches back to black and white. Maddie asks if he is sure that is all it was. In a flashback, we see Maddie and Owen in Maddie's home spending time together as Maddie smiles. Maddie continues to ask Owen questions. She asks if Owen gets confused when watching The Pink Opaque in her basement, like the memory is not right. Owen tries to find out what she means. She asks if he ever feels like time is not moving normally, or if he ever feels like he is narrating his own life and watching it play in front of him like a TV show. Owen begins to panic and wants them to talk to someone, but Maddie tells him to promise not to tell anyone like the last time. Owen promises not to tell anyone. Owen seems uncomfortable and asks her to tell him. Maddie tries to calm him first and tells him where she has been. She tells him that she has been there. She was in the show. She has been in The Pink Opaque. Owen walks out of the bar angrily, not believing what Maddie said. Maddie follows him and tells him that she can't be here for long, and also tells him not to trust anyone in his life, as they all work for Mr. Melancholy. None of this seems to make any sense to Owen. Was Maddie in the right state of mind? She tells him that she will be at the high school the next night and hopes he is going to come. Owen goes home and brings out all the tapes Maddie had sent to him in search of the last episode of season 5, the episode where the show ended. He sits in his room watching the final episode. In the show, Tara tells Isabel that Mr. Melancholy is coming and they need to be ready. She says they have to harness their full power by meeting in person. Isabel follows the sound of Tara's voice and the psychic plane back to their old slippery camp. She finds her by the lake, at the place where they first spoke 5 seasons ago. But as Isabel approaches, she picks up a strange signal from the psychic plane. It is a desperate message from Tara calling for help. She is buried underground by Mr. Melancholy. Isabel is then attacked by Mr. Melancholy's demons Marco and Polo. She tries to fight them off, but is unable as she screams helplessly. They cut out her heart and give her lunar juice. Finally, Mr. Melancholy makes his entrance. He wears a black suit with the face of the moon. He licks her face and advises Isabel not to fight the poison and allow it to work its magic. In the show, he tells Isabel about the Midnight Realm, the prison of his making, and jokes about how she is going to love it there. He shows Isabel a snow globe, and within that snow globe is Owen, trapped watching episodes of The Pink Opaque. Mr. Melancholy tries to calm her. He tells her that she won't remember her name, superpower, or the fact that she's meeting her demise. They bury her with the lunar juice spilling from her mouth, and then it just ends. We see Owen sit facing the TV, breath shaken. It is finally coming together. None of this is real. He is in a prison. We hear beeping sounds as his father rushes into the room. The top half of Owen's body is buried in the screen as purple sparks fly around. His father struggles to pull him out of the screen as Owen screams. He is taken to the toilet where something is done to him that makes him spill lunar juice from his mouth as the scene ends. A frail-looking Owen stands before a mirror and puts on a shirt. He opens the door to his house, and we can also see his colleagues stand outside waiting for him. In a flashback, Maddie tells Owen about how she moves back to Phoenix on the money she saves. She tells Owen about changing her name and sleeping at cheap hotels. She shares details about getting a job filling up dolls with stuffings. Maddie talks about how she runs away, but something is still wrong. Time is moving too fast. The time lapses aren't normal. She tells Owen about wanting to run away again, but knows nothing is going to change. Then one day, she pays a kid $50 to bury her. She talks about watching herself move farther away from a screen until finally, she reaches the surface. She is indeed buried by Mr. Melancholy. Their world is not real. Maddie tells Owen that she is Isabel from the Pink Opaque, and he is Isabel from the show. She tells him about waking up at the sleepaway camp where they were buried. She tells Owen that he is buried somewhere in the real world, and also how she finds their hearts stored in an industrial freezer and still beating. She tells Owen how she finds Mr. Melancholy's lunar juice and takes a swig at it to come back to the Midnight Realm, the prison where Owen, is trapped. Owen calls her Maddie, but she corrects him saying that it isn't her name. She wants to know if Owen believes her and knows she is telling the truth, but Owen does not believe her. He recounts memories he has with his family, but Maddie, Tara, tells him that the memories were put there by Mr. Melancholy to distract him and keep him trapped. Owen still does not believe Maddie, but she tells him that they have to be buried again, and she already has a grave dug up for him. She takes Owen to the school's football field and tries to talk him into burying him. Owen still does not believe any of what she told him. She takes his hand in an attempt to comfort him. Owen suddenly unleashes his inner WrestleMania moves and tackles Maddie to the ground as he runs away. Maddie sits up looking at him. She is saddened by his decision not to go with her, but she lets him leave. Owen runs into his house, locking the door behind him. He narrates not leaving the house for days as he waits for her to show up again and force him to go with her underground. But she never does, and that is the last time he sees Maddie. He tries to convince himself that Maddie's story is not real, and he did the right thing. But sometimes while working in the movie theater, he finds himself wondering, what if Maddie's story is true? What if he is somewhere buried alive and suffocating to demise very far away at the other side of a TV screen? He tells himself that it is not true and only a fantasy, something you tell kids. The next fall, the movie theater closes, and Owen is taken by his manager to the fun center, where he now restocks the ball pit with balls. His father passes away in 2010 after a second stroke. Time indeed is moving fast these days, making years pass like seconds. Owen decides not to think too much about it. He settles to stay inside the house his father left behind and become a man. He raises a family of his own, which he claims to love more than anything. Owen continues to narrate his life. He talks about it raining one night and starting the Pink Opaque over again. The show is available to stream now, but it is nothing like he remembers. He calls the show cheesy and not scary at all, making him feel embarrassed. The next scene takes place 20 years later. Owen is now old and frail, but still works in the fun center. We see him struggle to open a box filled with pit balls. He also struggles to breathe now, affected by his asthma. It is a kid's birthday, and a party is thrown for him. We see Owen try to use his inhaler, and is called by his manager to join his colleagues in singing the kid a birthday song. They sing and clap, and Owen walks behind. The manager encourages them to sing over again from the beginning, increasing the song's tempo. Just then, Owen screams in frustration. The sudden realization of his failed life hits him as everything freezes. Owen screams for help, claiming to be meeting his demise. Owen heads to the restroom and sits on the floor. His colleague knocks, and he answers saying he will be out soon. Owen picks up a pocket knife and cuts into his chest. He opens it up to see purple light emitting from inside him. Maddie is right. His life is not real. He puts on his shirt and walks out. He apologizes to everyone as he walks, but no one seems to answer. What if we are Owen? What if we are living the same life, watching life fly without achieving anything? Owen continues to walk as the movie ends.